Padres fans, we got headlines to talk about. This time, the farm system is getting some grades. Let's break it down on this episode of Padres Digest. What's going on, everybody? Christian Pedersen back with another episode of the show that is... you seen the meme of McConaughey from True Detective where he's hitting the cigarette, like he's inhaling the whole cigarette? Like that's the show that is stressed out right now about the next 5 years of Padres fandom, because we're going to talk about the report that just came out from Baseball America about the whole farm system and projected lineups and all that. Well, as always, want to hear from you guys on all of this as we go forward, because you do see baseball sometimes in a more optimistic way than I do, and it really, really helps. Also, speaking of optimism, if you want to hit the subscribe button, I'm never, ever once going to be mad at you for it. Let's talk about it. Here's the headline. Baseball America goes ahead and updates their top 10 prospects for all of the teams in baseball. Ethan Salas and Cruz Schoolcraft are the two biggest names that we are going to wind up talking about. Catcher and a pitcher. It's not a bad place to be in. Let me get to the facts here of the case and break you down. Here are the top 10. They are at various stages of development. There are mostly pitchers in here, mostly younger players. Salas and Schoolcraft both being under the age of 21 is fantastic. I mean, they're both under the age of 20, I guess, technically. 21 just feels like the arbitrary thing. So, top 10. That in and of itself, I was like, okay, that's an interesting article. This is kind of cool, seeing some of this. Where I get to my stressed out nature is the... and we'll get back to the prospects in a second, but in the projecting out of the prospects, the Padres, in this article, the 2029 lineup looks like this, with Ethan Salas at catcher, Jake Cronenworth at first base, Xander Bogaerts at second, Manny Machado at third, Jorge Quintana at short, left field is Ryan Weidman, center field is Jack Samaro, Fernando Tatis in right, and Cale Fountain in DH. This is what stresses me out, is that we're talking about top 10 prospects, and this should be like, man, here's where the franchise is headed. And where the franchise is headed is for Jake Cronenworth to move to first, Xander to move to short, and Manny to stay at third in 4 seasons when he's 38. And okay. I get that there is probably a portion of you out there who are like, look, we trade all these guys away anyway. Like, what are you stressed about that there's no projected major overhaul and flux? Okay, sure. But we're already talking about a team right now in 2025 that's kind of like, hey, all these dudes are in their 30s, except for Jackson, Merrill, and Tatis, and we're really talking about, and then, we need a first baseman, we need a second, Summer of Zan, when he's 37 and playing second base, is going to be like, oh, wow, he hit 208 and had 1 homer. It does not get me very optimistic or excited. When you go back to trying to break down the actual prospect-y side of it, oh, actually, you know what? No, I'm sorry. I'm over here. I'm cycling through the other graphics I want to talk about. Let's do that. Let's just to round this out. Here is the projected pitching situation, which this is different. This is major overhaul to have Nick Pivetta as the wily veteran with Schoolcraft, Mendez, Mayfield, and Humberto Cruz rounding it out, and then a 30-year-old Mason Miller probably being nasty. This I don't mind. For just no other reason that this is representative of wholesale turnover and not us trying to be like, oh, we're going to linger with these three. Like the pitching, for as bad as it is right now, of us talking about King and Cease potentially leaving and Darvish being injured, it does also give me some hope that there could be a cleaner sort of resetting of that side of things. And at the very least, reset it in the sense of like we don't have a ton of committed money, so we could potentially, we trade these guys, we get those guys, we get this. What I was trying to ramble on about before that, of getting through the rest of the minor league setup, there are people who qualify in a lot of different categories here, where there are, different pitchers have best fastball, slider, curveball, changeup, control. There is talent. So in looking at everything that we're being told, that the Padres are trying to cut salary and the Padres are trying to, get some wiggle room or so, I don't know what kind of word to use. Like the Padres are trying to offload some current financial obligations, call it that. It does make me think that, all of this could be a moot point if new ownership comes in and just the deck gets shuffled anyway. But it does make me think that these names on this list are more important and interesting and attention-worthy than they have been in the last couple years. Leo DeVries, the shortstop that we traded for Mason Miller, was a fantastic prospect and a very fun thing to see pop up on Twitter and be like, oh, he went 3 for 4 again. Oh, he hit the cycle. Oh, he hit another couple home runs. He was fantastic. But I wouldn't say that beyond the small sliver of you that are real baseball junkies, that there was a lot of you being like, oh, every video we did, they're like, X, Y, and Z guys are on the cusp. They're ready to go. They're rock and roll. Like, get me to this, new era of Padres baseball. But we're also at a team that's maybe I've said a little bit off the seat, maybe the team that needs to get kind of imploded and rebuilt. And so whether that's imploded and rebuilt through somebody finding a way creatively to actually get rid of Xander or Jake or offload and restructure some money or something crazy like that, sure. But it also could mean that maybe the Padres just have to eat some contract money and promote internally, and that's where it's time to start paying attention to these guys. And it's time to start maybe saying to ourselves, are we really a franchise that can always pull off the big trade, that can always go get the other guy? Or do we need to really put some value on Craig Stammen and the new management era, vibe, style, whatever it is that he's going to bring in here, needs to produce a little bit internally in a way that's not just like, oh, we got David Morgan. That's a cool story. He helps. But you instead can be like, look, we saw Cruz Schoolcraft all the way through, and we didn't turn him into another, Max Fried or any of these other guys over the last 10 years who we've been like, oh, man, I can't wait to see him get up here. And then he gets up here for 2 games, and we're like, bye. Maybe it's time to go all in on one of these guys or 2 of these guys. Maybe it's time to say, hey, look, Padres fans, trust us. Ethan Salas and Cruz Schoolcraft are going to get here in a couple years. And what we're doing right now, where we're not committing to go get 5 years of old-ass JT Realmuto to catch, is going to end up where a little short-term pain, little long-term gain. It's a nebulous world right now of this minor league thing, but that's just kind of where my brain is at after seeing this article. So drop a comment. Let me know what you think on just the whole totality of where is your interest and investment and enthusiasm for the minor leagues that the Padres got going on. Till next time, guys. Talk to you soon.